Hello, people of the world, and welcome. You already know what it is and what it's time for. Couple of things, little announcement I'd like to make because I'm fancy like that. I upgraded some of my equipment. First of all, this raggedy thing is now Dunzo. I'm sick of using it. I don't know if you noticed. I got new lighting. Yes, I upgraded my lighting. I used some of the podcast fund to go get new lights for the studio, and I think they look good. I think they're radiant. I think it just brings more life to my podcast. So now I have an official stand for my webcam. I'm not using a ring light anymore, and I've got two setup lights. They're just amazing. So along with like a new microphone and that. It's amazing. Also, I went on Amazon and when I ordered the lights, I also ordered this right here. Can you read a bitch? There was another one that said like Bish aside, right? But this one's Bish be gone. And I saw it on there for like $19 and I just like had to have it. It's got all these ingredients on the back too. And it's just like, it's so cute. It's so kind. I love it. I love this. I do love this. I saw somebody had it and I was like, I need to find that. So the first one that I found is said, I think like Bishocide or something like that. And I saw this one and was like, yeah, like of course. So I got a few new things. Just upgrading, a little bit of myself and whatnot because I got a new car and I'm feeling very proud of myself for being able to afford such a thing and keep up on rent and keep up on my finances and keep up on everything. So I'm creating an environment that just like is serving to me and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So those are just a few announcements that I have for the morning. So morning announcements. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring, of course. Everybody who has put money into my Patreon, just know that it is going back into my podcast equipment. That stuff was with my play money. The car was with my responsibilities fund. We talked about funding a little bit on one of my other episodes of my podcast. Go check them out. And I've been doing very good with my budgeting, and I have been doing very good with keeping afloat. Right? So I just love it. So with all of that going down, right? I don't really know what we're going to talk about today, but I just forewarn you, I did not do my makeup again, and I did not do my hair because I have an important audition tomorrow, which will be today when the podcast is released. But I have an important audition to do today, and I'm very excited about it. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I love it. Few people know what I've been talking about and what I've been doing. So this will be my first audition of the year, and I'm hoping that I nail it. And I will hopefully getting back into my performance arts and back into theater and back into my music and back into my voice acting. I have grown to a state of financial happiness right now, and it's been taking a weight off of my shoulders. It really has. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting me for this long, keeping up with the podcast. My new song just dropped as well, Rain on Me, on my YouTube. You should go check it out. It's a little R&B, little soul, little hip hop that I kind of put out, and I really like it. And I think it's going to be one of the very few last sad songs. So without further ado, this episode is going to be about progression. Yes, we are going to progress in life because that is the number one thing that I really, really like about life and about living. Like, I have troubles with thoughts and things of living or continuing to live and, living in a life that's so depressing and so sad. And I have gotten over that kind of, I want to say depression, as because depression is kind of a harsh word, but at the same time, it's the truth. That sadness, right? That depression, it's hard to deal with. And I talk to therapists and I talk to people about that. And a lot of the solutions that I've come up with for myself is progress. If you progress in certain aspects of your life or certain things, then it makes you feel good, and it kind of, I don't want to say cures that depression, but it helps that depression, right? So, big example with progression is, of course, the setup that I have, the podcast setup that I have, the music that I've been trying to influence into my life, and the things that I have put forward to making my life better, and more happy and financially stable and stuff. So, progress is kind of a touch and go. It can take time. My progress, for example, for my debt has been a long process. It has taken, I want to say, like 9 months, almost, like almost 8 to 9 months to get myself back to a financial stability level where I just have to maintain myself and maintain the financials that I have, and like staying a month ahead in bills, that gives me like a cushion, and it helps satisfy the sadness that I would get if I was just still living check by check, week to week, week to week. And it helps me in a lot of ways other than just sadness, but it helps with my sadness the most. As long as I can progress, as long as I can keep up on things, it makes me feel good about myself. So hopefully you take away from this episode your progression, your progress, and things that you're doing to make yourself uplifted, like a goal in mind. So, in one of my podcasts, previous episodes, I talked about my goal for this year. My New Year's resolution was to become financially stable. I have achieved that at this moment. At this moment, by paying off my debt, I have become more with that financial aspect of stability. So, my resolution is going good. I don't want to say that I did it, right? Like it's not the end of it. No, because I want to keep being financially stable. I want to keep budgeting. I want to get into a new apartment. Maybe I might be able to rent a house if I'm like, financially stable and keep up on that stability. I might be able to progress into better, badder things, bigger, better, badder, right? I might be able to upgrade to a 2 bedroom so then I have a studio and a bedroom, right? Instead of just living in a 1 bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom, like I can have, obviously, I only need 1 bathroom, but I could upgrade to a 2 bedroom house where I could have an official studio that is just for my studio stuff. And I can feel good about it, right? So that is one of the goals that I set for myself as a permanent resolution. And the progress that I've made has been very effective and it's been helping a lot. So, the progression that I've made with being financially stable has helped cure a little bit of my sadness in a way that is beneficial for everybody, not just me, but the people around me feel like they can do the same thing. So, another thing on progression that I can say is diet and exercise. I am all about diet and exercise, and I sound like a broken freaking record, but I'm telling you, if you keep up on your health and you keep exercising and dieting, you're gonna feel the progress at some point, right? It takes time, obviously, and they say like when you're a beginner or you're level one, it's easy to level up into level two, three, four, and five because you're at such a low level. Grinding and doing this stuff every day is you're going to see immediate progression. Sometimes it takes longer than others. I'm not going to lie. But so, for example, I want to put this out there. If you are overweight, right? You have more weight on your body. The weightless exercise that you do is not weightless. You're actually taking your body fat or the weight that you have that you want to shed off, and you're using that as weight when you exercise. So when you're skinny or you're not overweight or you're like in pretty good shape, but you want to build muscle, it can be a slower progress. It's easier to build your muscle because you don't have to burn the fat. But at the same time, if you have more fat, you have more weight to lift or move around, which can make weight loss progress faster than muscle building. Does this make sense? So, this is where I'm like, okay, you're at your level one. You're either overweight or you're really skinny and you want to build muscle or you want to lose weight. Progressing through them level ups is going to happen faster if you put more weight into it. And believe me, Bish, I do not want to be all bulky and like muscly and muscle bound, but lifting weights is not going to make you bulky or big, right? If you want to look more toned, focus on your core exercises and exercises that require little weight to maintain or tighten your core. That's how you can build muscle in a like very slimming way and staying slim. That's what I do. Also mixed with a healthy diet and a calorie deficit to keep yourself in shape. I have been gluttonous this year with the sugar. Seriously, I have like been avoiding apple cider vinegar because I don't like the taste of it, but at the same time, I need to take into account that apple cider vinegar can help stop sugar cravings and things like that. So I'm working towards that. And I'm also using protein powder this year to build a little bit more muscle and help recover my muscles so that I'm not just tearing away at my muscles. I'm also taking steps to take um, like gummies and like meds so that my metabolism gets higher so that I will burn fat. Now, this is where I'm going to be talking to my overweight people. Nothing is wrong with the way that you look, but if you feel like you want to do better, the weight that you have is going to help you lose weight because you're lifting more weight to get rid of that weight. Does this make sense? So, as a beginner, you can go weightless and the weight that you have is your body weight is going to help you burn that fat. But as soon as you see yourself losing weight, you're losing the weight that you're lifting. So you need to compromise with that. Not match it, but you need to compromise with that and add a little bit of weight to your workouts so that you are burning the same amount of fat and you're burning those calories and you're doing the stuff that is going to help you lose the weight. Does this make sense? I hope it does. Focus on cardio. That's what I try to do. Um, with that being said, my progression from working 30 minutes every day, just working on my body, working out, exercising, and stuff like that, has upgraded to almost 2.5 to 3 hours of exercise every day except for Tuesdays because bitch, I don't like Tuesdays. That's just my off day. Just saying, I don't like Tuesdays. So I don't work out on Tuesdays. I don't really eat anything on Tuesdays. I just kind of sleep. I That's where I get most of my rest is Tuesdays because Tuesdays are a bad day for me. But that's okay. That's okay because everybody gets one rest day or two rest days, depending on how much you want to work out. But that progress is going to make you feel better. Going from level one to level 10 is going to seem easy at first. It's going to be a struggle, obviously, with like working out and stuff like that. But progressing through life, going from level 1 to level 10, you're going to see the progress at the pace of the energy that you're putting in. Remember, we talked about energy in episode like 8, right? So remember where to put your energy. Remember to separate it in good ways so that you can progress better. Not faster, but better. So let's say you do progress to a point where you are level 10, right? You leveled up through the 1 through 10. Now that you've progressed to this level of financial stability, of weight loss, or muscle gain, it's going to be harder to level up past that. To maintain that stuff is going to seem simple. Your workouts will get easier. Your budgeting for money will get easier. You're going to notice that it's easier to do these things. That's where your level up is going to slow down. Your progression is going to slow down because it seems easier. So, with financial progression, the budgeting thing, right? You need to keep budgeting to keep saving that money, right? Of course, you're going to have days where you want to go splurge, you want to go do stuff. Well, you need to make sure that you're maintaining your financial stability so that it keeps progressing. Once I got to about a month ahead in my bills and stuff, once I got there, it seemed like my savings account was not changing, right? And that's because the money that I was putting into my debt at first turned into my savings. So once I paid off my debt, I flipped it around and started putting that money into savings, and like I got a new vehicle and stuff and helped progress myself forward. When I did that, I noticed okay, my savings took a little bit of a dent for the down payment for the car. Of course, that's going to happen. Of course. And now I have a monthly car payment. Not worried about it, but it's still cheaper than the debt that I was paying. It really is. So the money that I would be putting towards the debt is not as much. So I took that money that I was paying towards the debt and I would put it into my savings. Cut that in almost half. Now I can only save about half of that because I have the car payment. That's fine. The progression of my savings is going to slowly build rather than quickly build like it was, right? So when I think about this progress and I go, okay, so I leveled up my life and I finally got to a point where I feel good about my finances. I feel good about my exercise. I start getting comfortable. I realize there's no struggle, there's no strain, right? That is what pushes progress is strain or putting yourself under pressure when you're working out, when you're exercising, and you get to a point where you're not really breaking a sweat anymore during your exercises, right? It just becomes easy. Now you're maintaining. You're not progressing anymore. You are just maintaining. Bitch slap of truth, okay? Maintaining is good, but it's not where you want to settle. You always want to be progressing. You always want to be moving forward, doing better. So, upping the amount of weight that you're putting into your workout or increasing the reps or the time that you do work out. I used to work out for half an hour every day. Once that got too easy, I upped myself to about an hour. Once that got too easy, I upped myself to more reps and added different exercises. Once that got easy, I added weight. Once that got real simple, I started using an hour and a half. Once that got too simple, I started using 2 hours. So it's progressing. It seems like I'm putting a lot more time into it, but that's okay because I want to progress. I don't want to idle. I don't want to stay the same, right? So when you start losing weight and you notice yourself dropping weight, but the exercises are getting easier or simpler, up the weight that you're lifting, up the reps, up the time. Put that strain on your body or yourself so that you're actually sweating during your workouts and it actually feels like a workout. It doesn't just feel like exercise. That's not what you want to do. So I'm checking my laptop and my sound and stuff because for some reason, my cheap laptop, when you turn it on right away, it takes a minute to like warm up. But it's doing very well right now for the recording. I can see everything's very fluent and very like moving very well. That's because I let it warm up for like an hour and did updates and all this stuff. So the longer I keep my laptop on, the better it runs. Ain't that weird? It's like a car. Ah! So back to the topic at hand because I got distracted a little bit. I know, right? Ryan, you need to focus. Focus, like episode 1. Focus. So with progress, just know that it does take time. Leveling up is faster at first, but then as you get past those levels, it becomes harder or you don't see the progress. That's because it takes time for you to level up after you've beaten the first couple levels. And you might see other people like progressing faster than you. Bitch, that's just because they just started, right? Like they just started their journey. They just started doing this stuff. So don't feel like you're falling behind or your progress isn't there because it is. It's just not happening as rapid as someone who's at level 1. Once you get to level 10 or 12 or 20, the progress slows down, but there's still progression. You're still at a better level than those people. Think about it like this. If your workouts start getting like easier, right? You're not really sweating all that much, you're just maintaining, you're just exercising and dieting regularly. Someone who's at level 1 and they're progressing faster than you is going through those struggles that you went through at level 1. The fighting the cravings, to the calorie deficit, lifting all that body weight so that they can lose the weight to only find out that they have to lift the same amount of weight or more to keep progressing. They're struggling through this mentally just like you did for them first couple like levels. And once they get to a certain level of where you're at, they're going to realize, "Oh, this is how you did it. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this was where I was at and this is where I'm at now." They're not going to realize that. They're going to go, "Wow, that was hard to get to." Bitch, yes, it was. So just remember your progress is seen, it is working. It just takes longer now, or more pushing, or more pressure to keep progressing past that point. So we all know I like my video games. I love playing my video games. I love skating. I love acting. I love singing, stuff like that. To progress through certain stresses or performance issues or levels in gaming, it took grinding. It took doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it until I was so sick of doing it that I still had to keep doing it. So pushing past that point of, I really don't want to do this anymore, is what's going to push your progress to a level that is unseen from before. Like you didn't realize that you were going to get this far with video games. I'm going to nerd out a little bit. Let's say you're playing a video game where you have to start out at level 1. You are a novice, you're a beginner. You're going to hit level 2 so quickly at the beginning of that game. All the XP that's coming through, because it doesn't take much experience points or, stamina or whatever it takes to get to level 2, is not that much, right? So when you're at level 1, let's say, for example, it takes 500 experience points to level up. You're going to get that 500 so quickly, right? And then you hit level 2 and you level up And now it takes 1,000 experience points to hit level 3, which may not seem like much because you just did 500. So you'll just do twice as much grinding and get that experience to get to level 3. Level 3 is not going to be 1,500 experience points. Don't ever expect it to go up regularly. No, after 500 at level 1, 1,000 at level 2, at level 3, it takes 2,000 to get to the next level. Because they're not just going to keep adding the same 500 experience point cap to doing that. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. And that's not how life works, right? Let's say, for example, you are putting $20 every paycheck into a savings account, right? After, let's say, 4 weeks, you're going to have about $80 into your savings account. That doesn't seem like much. And Bish, that's because you have to keep upping what you're putting into your savings account. When I first started my savings and I started saving money, I did $5 out of every check. And I did that for 4 to 5 weeks, right? And I got to about $25. Once I hit that $25 mark, I didn't up it to 10. I upped it to 25, right? And I started saving 25 every week. And I did that for another 4 to 5 weeks. Next thing you know, I had over $160 in my bank account, in my savings account. I saw the progress quickly, right? After that, I decided to up it again. You think I went straight to like $40 or $50? No, I ended up putting $100 a week into my savings account because I had a goal in mind. I wanted to get a new car. I wanted to pay off my debt. That's what I wanted to do. So after 4 or 5 weeks of putting $100 a week out of my check, right? I ended up having like $600, $700. That's awesome. That's amazing. I am closer to my goal. After that, I kept putting $100 in because I needed to slow that progression down because I realized, okay, I was living week to week off of my checks. So I just kept putting $100 a week into that savings account until I got about $1,000. Then I went and put that $1,000 down on a new car. This is after I paid off my debt. I went and started putting $100 every week into my bank account till I hit about $1,000. Then I went and put $1,000 down on a brand new car, and I drove off the lot with something freaking beautiful. Seriously, Bish, it is gorgeous. I love driving that car. I love it. Love everything about it. I also took into account the insurance cost of increase. Since I am 30, ew, my insurance is actually lower than most. And that's because I don't push my cars anymore. I used to like to race cars, but now I've got nowhere to be that fast. So I am patient with my cars, with life, with people. I try to be very patient. I let it go for a moment because I can. Okay? So that's a good tip on how your progress has to increase to make progress and to keep flowing and keep going in a direction that's going to seem like you're actually making progress. Okay, so now we can apply this to workout, diet, exercise. Let's say you're eating 2,000 calories a day, right? That's normal. Most people eat 2,000, depending on, of course, if you're a male or a female, whatever kind of, metabolism you have. This is something that's normal based on a 2,000 calorie diet is the normal stuff when they talk about serving sizes and things like that. So let's say if you want to start losing weight, right? You're going to take your calories and you're going to put yourself on a deficit, right? My calorie deficit is very low. It is like 5 to 600 calories a day. It's a little bit too low, but that's okay because I have my splurge times where like I get up to 1,000 calories. I allow myself to limit out at like 800 calories, but that's just to keep my body going. If you're looking to build muscle, you'll increase your calories so that you can turn them calories into muscle development. You want to eat more protein, lean stuff that's not really fatty, or if you eat like fatty foods, it's got to be good, healthy, fatty foods. Like I heard avocados are like really good fat to have. So, Bish, take that into account. Just saying. But you're not going to want to go from 2,000 straight to 500. Then your body is going to panic and freak out. It is. So, my suggestion, it might be a slow progress, but my suggestion is every month knock off 50 to 100 calories off of that 2,000 calories until you get to a sustainable calorie amount that allows you to lose weight, but also build muscle and maintain your energy. That's all I can say. If you do that, the progress that you're going to see is going to happen very quickly. Okay. It might take months to get it done, which may not seem quick, but losing weight in a few months, that's actually really quick. A lot of people don't realize, like, if you struggle with losing weight and you put yourself on such a strict calorie deficit like that, if you jump from 2,000 to 600, 600, your body's going to cling on to life, is what it's going to do. And it's going to store fat more than lose it because it's going to panic. It's going to go into panic mode and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm not getting all the food that I used to get, and it's putting me in shock. It's making me go, I better hang on to what I can because I'm going to go without." Right? So that's one of those things where you got to watch your progress and make sure that you're doing it in a good levelable state to where like bitch is not gonna hurt you. Okay. Just remember that. Tips from Trippy. Um, so with that gaining muscle, you're going to want to increase your weight, right? The weight that you're pushing, increase the time and reps that you're doing. High intensity is better, of course. And you're going to want to intake more calories but less fatty foods, right? So instead of eating fried chicken, eat skinless broiled chicken, right? Higher in protein, less fatty. The breading obviously is going to be like, oil is fried chicken. Like it's not good for you. That kind of chicken is going to be bad for you. But like broiled chicken or like something that doesn't have as much breading on it is going to create protein more than fat, right? So if you increase your calorie intake with more protein, less fat, you're going to build your muscle faster, right? I've seen bodybuilders that are on like 3,000 calorie diets, almost 3,500, and all they eat is hardcore protein and then work out a bunch. And they get huge, huge. So, maintaining a good balance between your protein and your cutting of fats and your cutting of calories or increasing in calories is going to help you progress in either or losing weight or building muscle. And the progress that you're going to see is going to happen quick for the first couple levels, which the first couple levels will probably take a couple months, Bish. That's okay. That's okay. It's going to seem like it's going to happen very quickly if you do it correctly, but it's also going to slow down after level 10 because you're going to have to keep constantly changing your diet and exercise. You're going to have to keep constantly changing these things to upgrade or progress farther to the goal that you want to meet. And it seems like putting more pressure, more struggle on yourself, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what you need. That's what you have to do to be able to progress to a level that you want to be at, that you're comfortable at. And nobody wants to idle. That's one of my biggest things is I hate idling. I can't stand idling. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. So progress is good. I need I need to quit smoking. I need to quit vaping. I really do. It's holding me back a lot. Not financially because I can afford it, but through my music and through my acting and stuff like that, it's holding me back at a level. So I want to start quitting smoking. I do. I want to quit vaping. And then also like I really want to cut out like really bad sugars and stuff. So I've been eating a lot of fruits and it's Easter, so I have been splurging on some chocolate because I have been having bad sugar cravings lately. So I'm gonna start taking more apple cider vinegar. Blech. I don't like it, but I will. And it's hopefully going to help me progress through quitting smoking again, cravings of food and sugary stuff. And hopefully, it will encourage me to eat more fruits and vegetables like I need to. So that's where I'm at with my progress building is I want to keep progressing through that. Oh my goodness, we just hit like the 40-minute mark or 39-minute mark. And oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. I gave you guys a progress report on how I'm doing, and my TikToks and my Instagrams and my Facebook stories and my reels and stuff all show like the journey that I'm going through and what I've been doing as in a progression level. So if you see me on those social media sites, I want you to look at the progress that's being made and look at the things that I'm doing to increase the living life that I have and enjoying life and progressing through those things. So stay up on me with that social media. Progression can also happen in a form of not only physical, but mental, right? As we get older, as we grow as people, we see examples and things that people do or say or how they emotionally handle things. And it takes a different type of person to see that. As we get older, we start to see it more, right? I personally see people get angry at like a lot of little stuff, and I used to be the same way. I can't deny it. I used to be the same exact way. Seriously. I used to get so like butthurt at like a lot of little things. People saying things, people doing things that I didn't like, or just like loud chewing, I used to get really angry about. But now I'm at a point where I can kind of look past that stuff and go, wow, I would have let that get to me. I would have let that upset me in the past. But now, bitch, I don't feel that way. I have progressed to a point where I can walk away from things that anger me or like upset me. I can just walk away from stuff because I don't need to put my energy into that sort of thing. I don't need to do that. There's no reason for me to feel like I need to say something or do something that's going to put me in a situation of feeling like I'm neglecting my progress, right? So let's say in the past, someone yelled at me and called me a slur or something that upset me or like made fun of my family or like made fun of the way that I did something, the way that I talk, the way that I walk, the way that I do things. I would get so angry and let that get to me and I would just freak out. I would overload on intensity with that stuff, and I would make it my problem, their problem. I would make their problem my problem, and then I'd make a big problem out of it. And the repercussions for doing that set me back in my progress ways. It set me back in a mentality level that I didn't want to remain in. It stopped the progression of me wanting to do more or be a better person. It stopped me from that. It made me actually downgrade in levels when I used to react like that. Now, let's say someone gets angry at me, they yell at me, they call me a slur, they do something out of the ornery that makes them feel better in the moment. I don't acknowledge that behavior. I will walk away. I will state something simply and then I'll walk away. I don't need to even state anything half the time. I don't. I just walk away because I don't care what that person thinks. My progress is important to me, if that makes sense. I don't care what they think. I don't care how they're going to take it. I'm going to take it the way that I want to take it. And then I'm going to use my mentality of progression and go, well, I don't even need to acknowledge this because it goes against my progress. Screw that. I am going to be better. I'm going to be better than myself at that moment. And I'm going to show myself the restraint of not freaking out. And when I don't freak out, I'm going to feel honored about that. I'm going to feel better about that. I'm going to go, wow, I handled that in such a way that I didn't need to calm myself down. I already knew the steps. Wow, you did so good, bitch. You did way better on that one than you would have. I used to be a fight kid. I would always fight and argue and lie and like make myself feel crappier or guilty, like on my last episode. And I would feel bad about the things that I did as a reaction. But now that I've progressed to a certain level, I can see my mental getting better with reacting about these things because I'm not getting angry and I'm not letting their words get the better of me. If somebody takes physical action on me, let's go. But most people don't do that. They just want to get their words out to make themselves feel better in that moment. Okay, get your words out. That's fine. I am going to serve cunt all day long. And I'm going to show that I don't care. Not that I'm better, but that I don't care about that. I care about stuff that matters in that moment, not about some person's opinion or how they want to get all mad at me about stuff. I don't care. I don't care. With that, opinions and comments about stuff, like if they're negative comments, I throw them out the window because they're not helping with my progress. They're actually trying to make me react in a negative way so that they can feel better about what they're doing to me, or like they can feel good because they got their point across and make themselves feel better about themselves. Guilt will get to them later. I don't need to explain how that level of guilt is going to hit them later. I don't need to explain that. They already know. So when someone comes at me sideways about something, or they tell me like a bad comment about my content or my music or my podcast, I am at a level now where that doesn't phase me. It's not going to stop my progress. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going. No matter how silly it looks, no matter how cringy it can get, I'm going to keep going because I don't know why I do it. I just want to do it. I want to progress. I want to be better than I was before. Exercising my content creation and exercising my podcast voice and exercising my music and stuff is going to help me progress to a point where I can be better and feel better about that progress and look back at that moment and go, wow, I did do better. And I can see my influence like working with other people as well. I see it. I see it. And it's so great. It's so great when I talk to a personal like person that I know and they go, "Yeah, I just turned around and said whatever." Or I just turned around, I didn't say anything. I just walked away. Yes, all the way. Serve that. Serve that. That is amazing. That progress is just it's bittersweet. I love it. I love seeing it, and I love seeing everybody like progress through life and show themselves that they're better for it and their progress is working. I love that about stuff. I love that about the people. I love that about my viewers, my fans and stuff, when they comment and tell me, oh, this helped me out so much, bitch. Thank you. Like seeing that it doesn't have to bother me really helped me out. I love that. I love that. Like I said, I have no more fucks to give. I have one. It's on my shelf. And I'm saving that for a rainy day. Okay? So don't come at me sideways. I have progressed to a level where I'm going to turn around and say whatever and walk away. I'm not going to put energy into being negative to you so that you feel bad. I don't care. I don't care that much. I really don't. Oh my goodness, we made it to like 49 minutes. Yes. These podcasts are going so fluent, but I need to keep coming up with topics that go on with what I'm saying because my ADHD, I want to jump around and tell a bunch of different stories that have nothing to do with progress or nothing to do with progression. So I need to stay focused. And I really love doing these podcasts on the fly. I do because I have to think about stuff like right off the top of my head. Everything that you're hearing right now is completely unscripted. It's off the top of my head. It's something that I didn't put a lot of thought into until now because I can edit the podcast later, edit out certain parts that I don't like or certain parts that don't go with the topic. I can just edit that stuff out. So when you're watching this or if you're listening to this, just know that the progress that I'm making for my entertainment purposes is going somewhere. It's working. All of this is like an improvised talk. It's like a little vlog of how my life's going, you know? So, yeah, just know it's unscripted. So everything that I'm coming off like the grip with is off the top of my head. It's something that's happened immediately this week or like in the past month or in the past that I just wanted to talk about because I needed to talk about it so that could progress forward with thoughts and feelings and remember that I'm a person and I have to process these things and I have to be patient and I have to progress to become a better version of myself or like a version of myself that I really enjoy being and that helps with my sadness. It helps me remember that I've come a very long way, that I have put myself on a pedestal that I created and good that comes out of that. There's a lot of good comments from people that come from that. Mostly when I talk about like my fitness or stuff like that in my content, I get a bunch of people in my inbox that are just like, "You're hot." And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You can like sexualize me all you want, but I'm not like that in person. I'm really not. I'm just a good person who likes to talk and likes to feel things and process things. I like doing that stuff. So there isn't really a like sexual desire behind it. It's more like when I post stuff about my body, or I'm posting body positivity or dieting positivity, it's to show the world that I don't care. I'm doing this because I want to, because I want to feel good about myself, because I want to feel good about the progress that I'm putting in. My goodness, I am tired, but that's okay because we're going to progress through this podcast and get it done so that we have an episode to put out on Sunday, hopefully on time. Okay. Because last week my laptop was messing up. But I think I have like a way to help fix that and make sure my laptop goes properly and progresses correctly. So, yeah, my podcast is getting better as I keep trying and as I keep doing it. So it's progressing at a rate that I'm very satisfied with. And I need to keep pushing my podcast to people so that I get more views and I get more followers and subscribers and people on my Patreon so that I can get a hold of a production company and progress even farther and get on like Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora because I want my podcast everywhere. It just costs money to do that, and I need producers to be able to do that. Working again. It kind of cut out a little bit, but I think that's because the USB kind of went loose. But that's okay. That's okay. We got most of the content and stuff like that. And we did make it to a good like point. So, at this point, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to say, okay, everybody, I love you, and, stuff like that. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked what I was talking about. If you feel it, you feel it. If you don't, too bad. I don't care. We're going to progress anyway. Um, yeah, make sure you follow me on all my social media. They are listed in the links down below. I need more followers on my Instagram and TikTok right now so that I can get a hold of some producers. So make sure you head over there and hit that follow button. Remember, stay trippy, stay up, and love you.